Hello and welcome to this episode of Peak Life. Today we're talking about fireworks and the impact that they can have on many members here in our community in Chesapeake. And here to talk about it is Nicole Miller with the Autism Society of Tidewater, Virginia. Nicole, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having, thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to come and speak about the impact fireworks has on individuals with autism.
So let's jump into it. I mean, fireworks, those of us who do not have any issues or concerns with it, think about celebration, fun, excitement, happiness. But what does it mean for someone who is really anywhere on the autism spectrum?
Sure. So individuals process sensory stimuli in many different ways. So an individual with autism can be severely sensitive to auditory and visual stimuli. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for increasing or decreasing the stimuli. So the thing is always about preparedness. But unfortunately, when things happen suddenly, you can't always be prepared. So the sensory sensitivity is key to the diagnosis. So that is a huge issue for many.
And fireworks, they've got what? They've got the loud noise. They've got often bright lights, depending on how close you are. The sound really travels, but you could probably see bright flashing lights as well. And when they're unexpected, I'm sure that can cause some reactions. I mean, that's like, I believe touch or the sense of touch is another thing that can be sensitive.
Absolutely.
So we're talking at least like 2 out of 3 concerns that can really affect someone with autism. So what happens during an event like this when someone's not prepared, a firework goes off, or any loud noise really? How do they feel? How do they react?
So it'll be individualized, but for the most part, that increased stimuli through the visual and the auditory can put them in that flight, flight, or freeze mode, where an individual could wander, just want to escape that stimuli, which is very reasonable because you want to make the pain stop, right? Sure. So if you're intensely feeling something because of the sound and the visual, fireworks are large, so they're hard to get away from because you see them in the big bright sky. And you also want to make sure that if you don't have headphones or earplugs right in your back pocket, you want to escape that noise. So oftentimes you'll get an individual who will just trying to get out of there.
Wow.
And it can cause severe harm to them if they put themselves in a situation where they're just running in the middle of a street, or, in an area where maybe they got lost and they're unfamiliar with that territory. So it can cause a lot of problems, and just that physical pain of feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm overwhelmed. And, it's anxiety ridden. So the next time you hear it, you can go into the same situation.
Is it panic? Is it fear? Or is it a mix? Depends.
So it physically manifests in the body. Wow. So you have that sight and sound coming at you unexpectedly, and you just feel it physically in your body. It hurts. It literally hurts. So you're not only, in doing something, hearing and seeing something unexpectedly, but you're actually hurting somebody.
Wow.
And then you put them in that wandering or elopement situation, and then you've got a missing person. So it's just a mix for, just pain for everybody.
Oh my gosh. What must it be like for, of course, people of all ages can have autism, but what must it be like for the parents or the caregivers who are with these folks? I got to imagine it causes them anxiety as well.
Oh yes, so I'll speak to my personal anxiety. Having somebody just take off on you as a mom of a teen with autism, it's anxiety to the max.
Yeah.
So we want to definitely, you're not only hurting the individual, but you're hurting their parent, a caregiver, the family. Where did the individual go? Why is my individual suddenly like on the ground, melting down, not having any emotional regulation, just in pain? And nobody wants to see, the person they love most in the world in pain or just take off.
Absolutely.
So
How long does it take to resolve when someone goes through an event like this?
it could take a while. It could
Really?
Some individuals it could take a minute as soon as it stops. Others it could take hours, maybe even the next day or the next week. So you're really causing direct harm for an undetermined amount of time.
Wow. So we really are focusing on fireworks right now. What can we do as a community to make sure that we are not putting parents and people with autism through such difficult times?
So we definitely want to make sure that we're not having illegal use of fireworks, that you are being considerate of your neighbor, especially if you know you're anybody in this. There are multiple people in the city of Chesapeake that have loved ones with autism and are individuals with autism themselves, maybe living independently. You don't want to do that to your fellow neighbor or Chesapeakean.
Yeah.
Or anybody in Tidewater. And if you do enjoy fireworks and you have autism and you can plan safely, you should go to those events because they're, you can plan for them, your family can plan for them. You could also bring the right equipment like headphones, earplugs, if you need to take that out. Or maybe you can keep them in a certain area where they'll be safe.
So that preparation really is the most important part. It's that, the city often hosts not often, we occasionally host official firework events, and we're always trying to push people to that instead of setting off their own.
Right.
And this is just a huge reason why, is because then you can prepare your loved ones who are perhaps have autism.
Absolutely. And also, if they're nonverbal, you can bring these communication boards. You can also bring all types of ways for them to communicate. If it does become too intense, you can have your escape plan, because that's always key for anybody. But especially for individuals with autism, if they do, oh, nope, this is not working for me. So you can go, but safely with your parent or caregiver or, the group that you came with. So safety first.
Safety first, and then that allows them to be prepared and bring the tools that they need to either be able to enjoy a fireworks display or to avoid it so that they don't have to go through all that.
Right. You want the whole community to enjoy it, including our individuals with autism.
I mean, we are the city that cares, right?
Absolutely.
So it's time for all of us to pay attention. And I think so much of it is just everybody realizing the impact. And I'm so grateful for you being here today, Nicole, because this is really something we've been needing to talk about. And I truly hope that everybody takes a second thought before they set off their own fireworks.
Thank you. I hope they do too.
Thanks, Nicole.
You're welcome.
That does it for this episode of Peak Life. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.